Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Belle and this is Routine Queen Bee. Before I get started with today's video, I wanted to ask how everyone's weekend went. I know my husband and I were not super close to having our baby yet, but we did have a little baby sprinkle over the weekend on Saturday. All we asked for was just diapers because we still have everything left over from our first son, and our friends and family, they really showed up, they came through. I think we will probably be set on diapers for at least the first few months. So let me know in the comments down below how your weekend went. If you did anything fun, if you just kind of relaxed and rested and recovered for the upcoming week, let me know down below. So in today's video, I will be cash stuffing my husband's first paycheck of January. I did choose to skip the budget with me this week for his paycheck just because it was my very first time budgeting his paycheck and I knew I was going to be indecisive and all over the place, and I definitely was. But I do still want to show you how I broke down his paycheck, so I am still going to go over it briefly at the beginning of this video. So my husband, he does make a bit more money than me, and we do have some bills that we pay separately and some bills that we pay together, or that are in my name. So he'll send me the money for them and then I'll pay them. So he usually just sends me what's left over after he pays his separate bills, and he'll also keep a little bit of money for spending throughout the week for himself. So he sent me $1,000, which will probably be the usual number unless we are short or have an extra big paycheck. But so he sent me $1,000. These are the bills that we either split or he pays for, but they're in my name. We have $85 for internet. We split electric for $110. He pays the full medical bill. And this extra car payment is just extra money that he's sending me every month for my car to pay it down a little bit faster. Then variable expenses, like I said, he keeps a chunk of his money for himself for spending. So the only variable expenses that I stuff are groceries and hobbies. And that's just so he doesn't accidentally spend the money that he might need for something else later down the line. Next is sinking funds. This is what we're going to be stuffing today, so I won't really get too much into that. And then this little section over here is actually my son's money. If you watched my previous video, I did, or I still do technically, I have an envelope here in my spending binder that, or rather in my sinking funds binder, that is for my son. Oh no, yeah, it is in here. So I have an envelope in here for him, and I just kind of had all of his money in here at one point, but I would be saving for his birthday and then he would need a haircut. And so I would have to dip into his birthday money, and I just kind of wanted to organize his money a little bit. So I am going to be stuffing his binder today as well. And I just started that binder for him so that way I can separate his money and I won't accidentally spend from a different category for him. So that is what is over here. And like I said, I will also be stuffing that in today's video. So now that I've kind of briefly gone over his budget, I will go ahead and count the money that I have. And this is my husband's paycheck money. My son's money is in his binder, just sitting in the front pocket. So we're gonna start first with my husband's, and then after I finish this, I will move to my son's. So we're starting with $50. Next we have 20s. Let's see. 20, 40, 60, 81, 20, 40, 60, 82, 220. We should have $400 here, if my math was correct. Then next we have our 10s, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Then we have our 5s, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, plus 35. And last we have our ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So perfect, we do have 400. Give me a second to rearrange this. I need to make sure all of my money is visible again. Okay, this is about as good as I was able to get it. So now that we know how much we have, I'm gonna set this to the side. And let's go ahead and get started in my husband's binder. First up, we have groceries, and this one gets the most at 170. I'm going to do that 50, and actually I'm going to go ahead and move these up again, just so it's a little bit easier to see everything. Okay, got those reorganized. So groceries is going to be getting 170, but we're starting with a 50, then we're doing 4 20s. So that should be 1, 2, 3, 4, perfect. And then we're doing 2 10s and 2 5s. So I'm gonna go ahead and count that back. 50, 70, 90, 110, 130, 140, 150, 55, and 60. Did I do that wrong when I budgeted for this? Or did I just count it wrong? 50, 70, 90, 110, 130, 140, 150, 155, 160. Okay, I'm gonna assume that I broke this down wrong when I did my cash planning, but that's still fine. $160 will still work for us. So we have $160 in groceries. Let's write that down. And my husband and I do split groceries. Okay, so there's that. Hobbies, as you can see, it already has a little bit of money in here. Like I said earlier, my husband does keep some of his paychecks for himself for like spending cash throughout the week. And this week he got a tattoo of his brand new godson's name, and it was a little bit cheaper than he was expecting, so he just went ahead and put the leftover money into his hobbies envelope. He only has $20 in here right now, but we are going to be adding $40. And this is because he is going to go see a basketball game. So he has $20, $40, $60 now in hobbies. But he's going to be going to see a basketball game with one of his buddies who lives here, who's also from Michigan. And they're gonna go watch it because it's their favorite basketball team. The Detroit Pistons are playing the Phoenix Suns at the end of this month. And so they want to go show their support for the Pistons. Okay, so now he has $60. So I wanted to make sure that I put a little bit in here. So he has money for snacks or drinks, whatever he wants while he's there. So there's hobbies. Next, emergencies. We'll be getting, I believe I budgeted $30. And I did that in a 20 and a 10. And I tried to put a little bit more in this category than other categories, just because he is just starting his emergency fund. So I want to try and bulk that up as fast as possible in case he needs any money for an emergency. So that's all it has right now, just $30. Next is car maintenance, and again, he's just starting his car maintenance envelope. I wanted to obviously stuff a lot in all of these envelopes, but we only have $400 to work with, so I did my best. We're gonna be adding $20 today, and that is all it has. That should be okay for now because we just had an oil change on the car, and hopefully we have a little bit of time before we need new tires. And the car that my husband drives is newer, So I'm hoping that also means we won't have any unexpected repairs until at least this gets a little bit bulkier. And then next is glasses. My husband does plan on getting glasses this year. Let's see, I think I did $15. I'm just hoping that he waits a few months before he goes in. Whoops. So that way I have time to save a good amount in here for him. So this is getting $15. And I did that in a 10 and a 5. And that's all glasses has. Kids, this is my husband's envelope for spending on our son, and I believe I also put $15 in here, so that's a 10 and a 5, and that's all that this one is going to have in it to start. So plus 15, and that's all it has. I think our next thing that we're gonna try and get our son is a hat, because my husband wears hats and my son always wants to put his hats on. It's so adorable. So we do want to try and get him his own little hat to wear. Then next is Christmas. I am gonna be putting $40 into Christmas for him. Last year he was a little bit kind of down because he didn't have much money for Christmas, because he hadn't saved for it throughout the year. So he just kind of had to scramble to get together some money at the end of the year. And he felt like he wasn't able to get everything that he wanted to for us. So he asked me to make sure that he has a Christmas envelope and that it has a good amount by Christmas, or by November, you know, when you start Christmas shopping. So that way he could go all out for us. So there's $40 in Christmas. Next is date night. My husband does have several kind of like date night themed envelopes, like date night, Valentine's Day, and Mother's Day. That's just because he has a lot of birthdays and holidays like that back to back. We're gonna have a March baby, and then, well, first there's Valentine's Day in February, and then we're gonna have a March baby, and then my birthday is in April. Then in May, my older son's birthday is in May, and we have Mother's Day and our wedding anniversary. So he wanted to have separate envelopes for each of these things to make sure that he can treat me or our sons for our birthdays and Mother's Day and things like that. But it's January, and since he has a Valentine's Day envelope, I'm not going to put as much into date night for this paycheck, because we're going to try and stuff Valentine's Day a little bit more. So date night is just getting 15, and we did that in a 10 and a 5. My poor husband. I always tell people, yeah, he has a lot of birthdays and holidays back to back to back to back. But at least it's after tax season, you know? So he'll get his tax return, and hopefully he wants to stuff a little bit of that into these categories. So he has some money for all of the birthdays and Mother's Day and Valentine's Day, things like that. Next is our Valentine's Day envelope. And since it's right around the corner, we did $30. I am probably, oh, I think I did that in a 20 and a 10 actually. Yeah, 20 and a 10. I am probably going to help pay for whatever we do for Valentine's Day, since my husband is just getting started on this envelope and I've been saving for it for a little while. So I'll probably end up splitting the bill with him, which is perfectly fine. I do not mind that at all. We're adding 30. But now for next year, he will be able to save if he wants to pay for the entire date himself, or get me a gift, whatever he wants to do with that. And I think we're planning on going to Cheesecake Factory because that was my request. I requested it. I have not been to Cheesecake Factory in a very long time, and I really want to go and eat some good food and, of course, get a slice of cheesecake. Then after Valentine's Day, we have Mother's Day, and I am stuffing $15 in here as well. We do have a couple months to save for this, so I probably could have put a little bit less in here if I wanted to, but this is just what I decided. So this is getting 15, and that is all Mother's Day has in it. I think I might have messed up somewhere because I think I might have a little bit extra left over. Might have forgotten to put a 10 in one of these envelopes because our last envelope is miscellaneous, and all I put in here is just $10 in a 5 and 5 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'll have to go back through and see if I missed putting an extra 10 somewhere. You know what? That was probably for groceries. I remember at the beginning I was $10 short for groceries, so I'll check that in a second. And $10 is all that we have in miscellaneous. Oh, doesn't want to go in. There we go. So there's that. I'm going to go back to groceries. Double count this, and if it is still 160, which I think it will be, then I'll add this 10. So 50, 70, 90, 110, 130, 140, 150. So yeah, we'll just go ahead and add this in. 160, 165, and 170. Perfect. That just goes to show I will probably almost always make a mistake in one of these videos. It'll probably be a rare occurrence that everything goes perfectly, but that's okay. You know, we're still learning. No one is perfect. So that is it for my husband's binder. Next up, we're gonna do my son's binder. And I did set his money into this little pocket over here on the side. So let's go ahead and count. Oh, I don't know why I closed that. Let's go ahead and count his money before I start stuffing. I don't know what I'm doing today. I also film these really early in the morning, so if I make a lot of mistakes, it's probably because I'm still warming up for the day. It's like 5:30 when I'm filming this right now, and I mostly do that so I can get this done before my son wakes up, because it is a lot harder to film once he's awake for the day. Okay, so actually I will set this to the side, and I'm gonna pull out my calculator again just to count this up. I should have $225. I know in my very first video, I went over my son's envelope and kind of explained that he didn't have a whole lot in here for his birthday and a haircut. That has changed. Christmas has come and went, and some of my family members gave him some money for Christmas. So that has bulked his money up a lot. So we should have $225 to work with here. So we have 50, 100, 20, 40, 10, 20, 30, 40 in tens. I'm probably gonna have to adjust this money a couple of times because we have a lot of denominations, and I don't have the biggest space here. I really should probably try and save for a cash tray soon. Then in fives, we have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, so plus 25. And then I did make sure to try and have a lot of ones here, so I can add the ones into the less important categories. So in ones, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, that one is disgusting. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Perfect. 225. Okay, so we're going to clear that out. and set that back off to the side. All right, so getting started. I think I will need to pull out my like breakdown for this one because I don't remember how much I was gonna put in each envelope. Okay, so birthdays, I was gonna do $100, and I think I'm just gonna do that in both of the 50s. So let's go ahead and do that. Plus 100, and that is all that is in birthdays for right now. But his birthday is in May and it's January, so we still have some time to save for that. I am going to probably have to hit his birthday envelope pretty hard in the upcoming months though, because I want to rent a bounce house, and I know that those can be kind of expensive, and we still have to buy food and decorations too. So there's 100 in birthdays. Haircuts is going to be getting 50, and I think we're going to do that in the 220s and a 10. So haircuts plus 50. And the reason I'm stuffing so much in haircuts is because he goes to, I don't know if you have one by where you live or if they even exist outside of Arizona. I have not seen one outside of Arizona, but he goes to Sharky's Cuts for Kids. Just because he had a really bad haircut, because I just took him to like one of those budget haircutting places before I used to. But they really botched his hair one day. And it was so bad. I wanted to cry. So I ended up taking him there to see if they could fix it. And the lady who cut his hair and fixed it did such a good job. She made it look so cute when I didn't think that it was going to be like a salvageable haircut. But she did an amazing job. And so now she's the only one I trust to cut his hair, and it is a bit pricier going to Sharky's. But my son also loves it because he gets to sit in like a little fire truck or police car, and they have like TVs that will play Bluey or whatever show they want to watch. So it just makes the process easier for him and less scary. So that's why we put 50 in hair, since it is kind of pricey. And then next is his own fun envelope. This is if he wants a toy or to go do anything. Because my husband and I each have a spending envelope for him as well. That's if my husband or I wants to get him something. This is if he requests something. So fun. And as he gets older, I figure he will also probably use this envelope like when he wants to go out with friends. So I don't mind if it gets to kind of a high balance in here, because I know someday he will be old enough to go out by himself with friends. And I'd like to have a good chunk in here when that time comes, because I know outings can get expensive very fast. So that's all that's in fun for right now. Clothing is getting 10. He did just get a ton of new clothes and shoes for Christmas, so he doesn't need clothes anytime soon. But like I said, we like to prepare for the future, so that's what we're doing here. And you'll see some of his other envelopes are also for the future. So clothing has 10. And that's all that's in that. Back to school is also going to be getting 10. This is another preparing for the future envelope. Oh, you know what? We'll do back to school in 2 5s. Yes, this is also another preparing for the future envelope, since he's only 2 years old and we have at least another year until he'll be starting school, maybe 2 years. Oh, I forgot to fill out my tracker. So I've heard that people can spend like upwards of $400 getting all of their kids their supplies for back to school. So I want to get a jump on it. And then next, oh, you know what? I'm gonna have some extra left over. I just noticed that when I did his breakdown, I only put 205 here, so that's what I worked with instead of 225. So we might flip back through and add a couple extra dollars to some of these envelopes because we're gonna have $20 left over. So yeah. Activities, I did put 15, but since we have some extra money, I think I'm gonna do 20. And we're gonna do that in a 10, a 5, and 5 ones. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, none of these are the gross ones. And this envelope is gonna be for like sports, music, anything like that he wants to do. But I am going to try and bulk this up a little bit sooner rather than later, just because my husband and I want to put him in gymnastics. We want him to be flexible, and we're hoping that if we put him in gymnastics, he'll learn how to stretch, and he'll also learn really good balance, hopefully. So that's what we want to do. But he has to be either like 3 or 3.5 before we can enroll him. So we have like 6 months to a year to save for this. So that's what that one is for, and it has 20. And then cell phone, obviously he doesn't need a phone anytime soon. This is just preparing for the future. And it's only going to be getting 5 because we have a long time to save for a phone. So there is 5. And that, yep, okay, I did that right. That is all that cell phone is going to be getting today. And we still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, $15 to work with. So I think, let's go back through. Hair doesn't need anything. Fun doesn't need anything, but I think I want to put that gross one in there. Yeah, this one, so I can spend it and it doesn't stay in my binders. So we're just gonna add $1 to fun. This will probably most often get spent on ice cream at the ice cream truck because my son loves to go see the ice cream man. The ice cream man actually knows him, and every time we go up to get ice cream, he always says, "Oh, hi, my friend," and he'll give him like a little, a free little sucker. It's so cute. So he loves to go see the ice cream man. Next, I think we're gonna add some to birthdays. We'll just do an extra $5 here, or we'll do $6 since, oh no. Yeah, we'll just do $5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 extra in birthdays. And I'm gonna try and fix the tracker on the back as well. I'm just gonna write over the 0, 105. It's not pretty, but it will work. I'll know what I mean. All right, so birthdays has 105 now. And I think that leaves us with 9. Let me double count to make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. So we'll pick 2 more categories to add to. Fun, clothing, back to school, activities. I think we'll do clothing and back to school. Yeah, we'll do that. So clothing will just get 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And, oh, I should probably fix the tracker for this too. Okay. We'll just write over it again. It'll be fine. I will know what I mean. Or even if I don't, I can always count it and figure it out. So there's clothing, and then back to school gets the last 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So back to school we'll have 15. And there we go. That is my son's binder all taken care of. I know it was kind of a little bit messy. Like I said, I am pretty much always going to make mistakes. Oh, also, did you notice I kind of changed my setup a little bit? I did. I used to have this wooden round. Sorry, I bumped my camera. But I used to have this wooden round under the candle, but I figured it would look a little bit nicer under the binders instead. So I just kind of switched it. And I'm still kind of figuring out how I want my setup to look. And that's what I've decided on for now. Anyways, I really hope you enjoyed today's video. If you like this kind of content, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and maybe join me for the next one. Thank you so much for watching today, and I hope you have a great rest of your day, week, whatever it is you have going on. Bye-bye.